You start, it's how you finish. And how about that finish by your Houston Texans? I'm Jason Bristol at the KHOU 11 newsroom as we are breaking down this Texans 32-12 win over the LA Chargers in the wild card round at NRG. Of course, you saw the game right here on KHOU 11, and we are awaiting the post-game comments from both DeMeco Ryans and quarterback CJ Stroud. Again, 32-12. The Texans were in a heap of trouble in the first quarter of this game, down 6-0. And then, well, who knows what happened? But the Texans ripped off 20-plus points in a row. And as a result, the Texans are now moving on to the next round. Again, my name is Jason Bristol. Looking forward to all of your participation. I need your comments. Join us on the KHOU 11 Facebook page as we take your one word to describe this game and anything else you want to talk about. Wow, when you look at the numbers, what a difference the final two quarters and the final quarter of the first half made for the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud, 22 of 33 for 282 yards, the one touchdown and one INT. Then you look at Justin Herbert, 14 of 32, 242 yards, the four interceptions against the one touchdown. They mentioned it on the broadcast. We've mentioned it throughout the week here on KHOU 11 News that Justin Herbert had been picked off 3 times the entire season. In this game, 4 interceptions, 2 of those by Derek Stingley. We've got some words coming in, and wow. Pamela says, impressive. I've got another impressive from Kia. That might be the word to use. Impressive. Christian says, yes, Houston Texans win. Paul, awesome. We got an awesome. Tracy says, what a game. Justin says, turning point was CJ deciding to use those legs and not take the sacks. I think there's something to that, Justin. When you look at CJ was at his best when the Texans, were employing quick passes. Now, on the broadcast, the CBS crew was mentioning how, listen, it's to get these receivers involved because you don't have Stephon Diggs and you don't have Tank Dell. For me, it always comes back to the offensive line. Quick tosses, allowing CJ to set his feet and make good throws. Because, again, I'm going to go back to this, which I've been doing week in, week out, is that everything revolves around that offensive line. When CJ has time, when you roll him out, designed roll out, he has time and he can pick apart a defense. And yes, those runs, Justin, I agree, that really helped loosen up that Chargers defense because, listen, the Texans didn't have a running game at that point. And obviously the botched snap that CJ picks up, then rolls out and finds Hutchinson for that big gain, that really, really got things going. Part of a 99-yard scoring drive. Because when the Texans take over at the 1, you're thinking with this offense, the way it's been functioning, this is not going to end well. But it did end well. Other words. Steve says impressive. Sammy coming in with chaotic. And speaking of chaos, I think this is so fitting for this game, what we saw, especially that sequence of sack, 80-yard bomb by the Chargers, blocked PAT for the Texans safety, among other things. According to what I just looked up on Football Database or footballdb.com, This is the first time there's been a 32-12 final score in NFL history. So I think that's pretty fitting, don't you? All right, what else do we have here? Determined. Justin coming in with determined. Destiny. Destiny Monique says spectacular. That has made our big board as well. Early on in this game, when you look at the pedigree of that Chargers offensive line, especially the two tackles, and I'm thinking, oh boy, especially that first drive by the Chargers marching down the field. Yes, they settled for 3. A big drop by their tight end. Obviously the fumble by Mechie, and you're thinking, oh boy, here we go. But man, give that defense, that Texans defense, all the props. Let me pull up these stats here. Kara says, go Texans. Sandy, go Texans. We are getting a microphone check at, hey, there's Kim Davis. Hi, Kim. So Kim joins us from time to time on KHOU 11 Sports Extra. As all of you know, you better know, of course, we talk about the games Sunday nights at 10:30 on KHOU 11 News, KHOU 11 Sports Extra, following KHOU 11 News at 10. And Kim from Chalk Talk, she's one of our regular guests. Linda says, this was an awesome game. They made me so proud. Jim says, wow, best game of the year. Tracy coming in with a word as well that makes the board fantastic. So once again, we are awaiting DeMeco Ryans, his post-game comments. I imagine DeMeco Ryans will be mentioning, I think he's going to use the word finish. That's how you finish. I think he's going to talk about how relentless this team was and how this team put some of the issues it was having behind them and was able to, I guess, rally around each other and then turn it into a completely different football game. Someone here saying destined to win the Super Bowl? We'll see. We'll see. Justin says, I haven't paid attention. Is the Chargers O-line known to be that bad? No. Not at all. When you've got Rashawn Slater on one side, who's a Pro Bowler, and then Joe Alt, the first-round pick, top 4. No. And I think when you look at the way Herbert had played this year, throwing only 3 interceptions. Now, I know some of their metrics in terms of offense, running offense, passing offense weren't that great. They're kind of middle of the pack. No. This defense made that offensive line look the way it did. But, you know, I pulled up these stats. Other than Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, you look at what the Texans have done against some of the elite quarterbacks in this league. I mean, we all remember the game against the Lions. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. Granted, Texans lost that game. Now, certainly there's some question whether Aaron Rodgers is still an elite quarterback. He actually had one of the best games by the against the Texans, 22 of 32 for 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. But Lamar Jackson was only 10 of 15, 168 through the air and 2 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes was 28 of 41 for 1 touchdown and no interceptions. But Tua Tagovailoa threw 3 interceptions against these Texans. Goff, 5 interceptions. Jordan Love, 2 interceptions. Josh Allen, no interceptions, but he was 9 of 30 for 131 yards in that game earlier this season that the Texans, when the Texans beat the Bills at NRG. And certainly the Bills are one of the favorites now to win the Super Bowl out of the AFC. Let's see. Yes, Adam says, so now the Chiefs? Yes, so now the Chiefs. Justin, could the Texans have one of the most elite corner groups in the league? I think anytime you have arguably the best corner in football, yeah. Lassiter's a rookie, but he has done more than an admirable job on that other side. Now, the defensive backfield as a whole, obviously, injuries, Jalen Petrie, Jimmy Ward, that hurts. But now, whether Justin Herbert is actually an elite quarterback, he's always talked about as being on that tier or at least near it. But when it comes to just talking about the two or about the corner group, yeah, I think anytime that you have arguably the number one corner in football, yes, it's going to be considered elite. Let's see. I mean, Herbert, 14 of 32, 242 yards, and 4 interceptions, and he was sacked 4 times. So once again, we're getting another microphone check at NRG. So
1, 2,
I
3.
assume we are getting
Testing
very
audio,
close
1, 2,
to hearing
3.
from DeMeco Ryans. It will be very interesting to hear DeMeco Ryans' message to the team and the locker room. The Texans will obviously post that a little bit later on their social media channels. That'll be fun to see. DeMeco believes in this team, and I think defensively we all believe in this team. The offense, it was good enough, and then at the end did what it needed to do. But I think all of us would agree this was a defensive game. The defense won this game. Texans third down, 5 of 14, not great. They did hold the Chargers to 3 for 11. Total plays, Texans tipped it in their favor. It was not that way earlier in the game. 70 total plays for the Texans compared to 54 for the Chargers. At one point, I was thinking, okay, this defense, it's a great defense, the Texans defense, but any great defense, when it gets tired, that can become an issue. And they talked about it on the broadcast. The way the Texans defense was exposed against the Ravens, that has stuck with these guys. I think Will Anderson was attributed to that on the broadcast. He was the one that had mentioned to the CBS broadcast crew. In the end, the Texans rushing for 168 yards, 4.9 yards a carry. That'll win you a lot of games. Now, most of that came in the second half, I would imagine. Penalties continue to be a problem. 8 for 86. As we get deeper into these playoffs, that is something to monitor. Justin says, great game, but we got to see more receivers step up. Collins is carrying that receiving core. We're missing Diggs and Tank. I agree. But that's what a number one receiver does. He carries the group. And once they started feeding Nico Collins the football, things changed. According to my notes, I don't think Nico even had a target until, let's see, 11:53 in the second quarter. My notes. Tina says, awesomeness. So we've got that right here. Awesome. Impressive, awesome, chaotic, determined, spectacular, and fantastic. Those are the words we have thus far. Again, we always look for one word to sum up each and every Texans game. Right now, I think the leader in the clubhouse is impressive. And of course, tonight on KHOU 11 News at 10, we'll have complete coverage of this game. Luis Ortiz will have what the Texans are saying from the locker room. Seth Payne, former Texan and original Texan from Sports Radio 610. He'll be joining Zach Tawatari to talk about this game. And then, of course, we've got I also believe we have some stuff from the fans. So now,
he knows the roster better than me.
So. Joins us from NRG.
Oh, yes, sir. No, just to start, man, this is just, first off, as always, want to give glory, honor, and praise to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Man, what an awesome opportunity we had to play a playoff game here at home, and we're just thankful for all of our guys and the effort that they played today. That's the complimentary football that we've been looking for and we've been needing as a team, and it's just an outstanding performance on all three phases. Really proud of all of our guys. I can go through each position group. Everybody stepped up and made a play. We needed to make plays. Our best player stepped up and made big plays for us to win this game, and none other than CJ. Just want to make sure he gets the love that he deserves, like the play that he made on the fumble snap and throw to Hutch. Like, that's the play that just sparked our entire, not our offense, but our entire team, right? Seeing the way all of our guys responded after he made the play, and then to come back with another big scramble on the next drive. Just outstanding performance by CJ.
Coach, your interior defensive line did a great job for you guys this evening, really disrupting the Chargers' offense, accounting for a couple of sacks, multiple tackles for loss. Can you talk about how their ability to create pressure impacted Justin Herbert's and the offensive rhythm and overall effectiveness throughout the game?
Playing playoff football, first thing first, you have to stop the run. And that's where our interior defensive linemen really played great today at stopping the run, right? You stop the run, you force teams to have to throw the ball, and that's where our entire D-line, they cut it loose, and they really got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. As every guy from Will, DeMeco, everybody, Mario with a sack, all across the board, those guys were rushing together. They were disciplined with their rush lanes. Everybody did a great job of keeping Herbert in the pocket, and they were able to get him down several times.
DeMeco, two separate but related questions. What are you thinking during that sequence when CJ fumbles, picks it up, and throws it to Xavier? And then second, in what way did you feel it give you all a spark?
Yeah, offensively we started slow, right? We started slow. We put the ball on the ground too many times, and we needed a play. And that's what it looks like when your best players step up and make the plays. That's what playoff football is about. That's what, being a big-time player in the league is about. And, of course, you see the fumble snap, and I'm just thinking, like, please pick the ball up. And then we're able to, to see CJ improvise and find Hutch, keeping his eyes downfield, just having that confidence in himself and his ability to avoid the rush and still keep his eyes downfield and find Hutch. And that was an outstanding play. To me, that was the play of the game that really, created momentum for our entire team.
You guys intercepted Justin Herbert 4 times, sacked him a bunch of times, pressured him on 50% of his dropbacks. How would you describe how your defense played today?
Our defense, they dominated today, and that's who we want to be. They played our brand of football. Like, talk about stopping the run first. That's what I'm most proud of, is how we stop the run. And we stop the run, you make teams one-dimensional, and that's when our D-line just caused havoc. So we're very proud of our defensive line, but more so proud of our DBs like Stingley, and he's been outstanding all year. He steps up again for us today, gets 2 picks. When we needed him most, he made outstanding plays. E. Murray with the touchdown. Kamari with for us to have off of the turnover, Kamari goes out, and you talk about a momentum shift. For him to pick the ball off, that was an outstanding play by him. So just the way our DBs are playing, it just opens up a lot for us defensively. Really proud of our entire group.
Hey, DeMeco, can you talk a little bit about kind of 2 things with the offense? The play that when CJ scrambled, it seemed like to him that opened something up, and we saw him seem more comfortable. And can you talk about just the adjustments that Bobby made in the offense today?
Yeah, the scramble play was, you see that confidence from CJ. You see he felt like the need to make a play, and he did. That's what I call you put the team on your back. And that's what he did. He put the team on his back, and to see our sideline just go crazy when he makes that scramble, you can feel it then. You can feel the game shifting at that moment when he makes that scramble for the big play. And just offensively, for us to be able to buckle down when we needed it most, for us to control the line of scrimmage and run the football like we needed to run the football, like that's what I'm proud of. Our offensive line stepped up. They got their hats in the right place. They were grinding. Like, that's a tough front. Right? That's a tough defense. Like, the defense did an outstanding job, all year. Did a great job today. It was tough to run against them, but we were persistent, and Joe did a really nice job of making some plays.
DeMeco, before the game even was underway, Ken Dell and Stephon Diggs were here. You had a special moment with them. What did it mean to have them back inside the building, and do you think that kind of ignited the team to have a bit of a stronger performance knowing that they were on the sidelines watching?
Yeah, seeing Tank and Steph out there, it's encouraging and uplifting for everybody on our team. We know how much both of those guys meant to our team, just the leaders that they are in their own way and how much energy they provide to our entire team. So, it's great seeing them. I think put smiles on everyone's faces, understand, like, who we're doing it for. Like, we're doing it for our brothers, and it was great to see them today. Would love to have them on the field, but just to know that they're here still supporting, right, through all that they've gone through, just continues to show how special our team is.
DeMeco, can you talk about that your longest offensive drive of this whole season happened in this game? In fact, get you back in, 99 yards. Obviously, if you could go farther, you would, but 13 plays, and basically that was, to me, sort of like the catalyst to start turning the momentum around, because that's when you took the lead. Can you explain that and what it was like just to get that whole drive out of the way and get it out of your soul?
I'll start with not only that drive, but just how we were sputtering along to start. And I just loved the way, our team just responded. Our offense responded, how resilient they were. A lot of bad things happened. Like, we fumbled the ball, but no one panicked. Like, everybody just kept playing. Like, even though we put the ball on the ground several times, nobody panicked on the entire team. And then when you need it most, like, our offense needs to step up and get something going for us, and to have a 99-yard drive, like, it's outstanding by everyone. Like, and so we want to see from our offense just throughout the entire year. We know there's been some inconsistencies, but to see everybody put it together when we need it most here in our first game of the playoffs, and couldn't be, again, more happy for everybody and just where we can continue to ascend if we do things the proper way.
Hey, DeMeco, I remember hearing you earlier in the week describe your D-line versus their O-line as the matchup of the game. Did you specifically challenge them to that? And then sort of similarly on top of that, you mentioned your best players playing their best, Will Anderson Jr. sack and a half, Derek Stingley 2 interceptions. Do you similarly challenge them to rise to the occasion the way they did?
The unique thing about our team, our defense, is I don't have to challenge those guys at all. Like, they understand the moment. They understand, like, why we're built the way we're built. We're built the way we're built, so our D-line has to go dominate. And when our D-line plays this way, not only does it help our defense, but it just brings enthusiasm to our entire team. So they understand that from the moment they sign up to play here for the Texans. Like, we're heavily dependent upon our D-line, and they did an outstanding job today.
Take 3 more.
DeMeco,
Yeah.
when CJ made that play, was there a sense from you, on the sideline when you saw him make that play that this could be something for us, this could kind of get us ignited? And then what did you see from the whole team after that?
Yeah, no doubt. With CJ making that play, I feel like it sparked excitement in everyone. It sparked confidence in everyone. Is what you needed. Like, just because of what happened previously on a few drives, like, it wasn't going right. So to see him make that play is just, I feel like everyone knew, okay, like, we're ready to go now. A little slow start, but it's not about how you start. It's always about how you finish. And we finished the right way offensively to gain over 400 yards offensively. Like, that's an outstanding day versus a really great defense.
DeMeco, can you just take us through the blocked field goal that you guys returned for 2, and then obviously just take us through the sideline reaction, which seems pretty wild?
The blocked field goal. Oh, well, I was pretty upset before the blocked field goal because so I wasn't really looking until I heard the big thump, and we got it, and I see D'Lo pick the ball up, and he's coming towards me. I'm like, I just couldn't do anything but smile right? It's as bad as a play that happened. Like I think we did a good job of covering all day, and Ladd makes a play. Ladd is an exceptional player, and Ladd makes a play on us and splits us and goes the distance. So I'm pretty upset at the moment. So I was happy. The blocked field goal definitely put a smile on my face.
Coach, in the offseason, you guys signed a lot of players with some good playoff experience. But can you kind of talk about Joe Mixon and what it's like having a closer like Joe Mixon in the fourth quarter on that last touchdown drive, nearly 60 yards on the ground, nearly 5 yards per carry. Can you talk about what it's like having a closer like Mixon and what does that mean to the offense?
Yeah, Joe's meant a lot to our team all year, right? The leadership that he brings, right? He has playoff experience. He's been there, so he has good advice to give guys on what it takes to win in the playoffs, and also things of what he would do different from being there and being able to go all the way. So value that experience that he has, but more so just value the person that Joe is. Like great energy every day. He wants the football, and you want to play well in the playoffs, you have to be able to run the football. So Joe did a great job there today, and he doesn't do that without the way our guys block, tight ends, receivers, and also the offensive line, like collective effort there, which allowed us to run the ball the way we did. All right, thank you, guys. All righty, thank you.
That was a very happy DeMeco Ryans following this 32-12 win over the Chargers. A lot to talk about from DeMeco's comments. He actually gave us some words. We've been taking your one word. He mentioned complimentary, how the defense dominated, and also mentioned outstanding work by that defense. He believes the one play which sparked everything was what we mentioned earlier, the botch snap. CJ scoops it up, rolls to his right, and then hits Hutchinson on the 34-yarder. I believe that was the yardage on that play. He believes that is what sparked everything. Also, believed that stopping the run on defense was very important for his team. And yeah, if you stop the run, you're going to force that other team to pass. And look at what happened. Justin Herbert picked off 4 times. Also, as I look at my note board here, mentioned about the blocked, he called it field goal, but PAT. That was right after the Texans had been burned on that McConkey from Herbert long touchdown. And it gave the Chargers a little bit of life, but then gone. It was sucked out of that building as far as the Chargers concerned, or at least the Chargers sideline. Life was sucked out of that sideline, I believe, when that block PAT happened. We are waiting now for C.J. Stroud to reach the podium and give his comments following this 32-12 win. A lot more comments from you guys. Again, join us on the KHOU 11 Facebook page. Desmond weighing in, good win. Based on his comment, doesn't believe the chances of winning next week are very good. Another, Texans were outstanding today. Emma says, great win for the Texans. They played with great energy and determination in this game. What do you think was the key to their victory? Also, what do you think of their prospects in the playoffs? The key to the victory in this game was, and DeMeco mentioned it, I think resiliency. They were resilient, and they played complementary football. It took them a while to get there, but really their resiliency and the defense. The defense kept this team in the game, and the defense actually, as we've seen in past games, put points on the board. As for their prospects moving forward, now I know Desmond believes that the Texans won't have much of a chance against the Kansas City Chiefs. I would argue that the way this team plays defense, how it plays defense, and the results how it puts points on the board from time to time, the Texans will have a chance. This defense, other than the Ravens game, has given this team a chance to win each and every week. And the Ravens game comes to mind right away, obviously because it was so bad. So, do I think this team can win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl? I will say this. I think this could be a Super Bowl caliber defense, and we talked about this on Sports Extra a few weeks ago. They're going to go as far as this defense can take them, because right now, and maybe we're starting to see something with this offense, but 17 weeks of football in the regular season doesn't lie, and DeMeco mentioned it. Inconsistency on offense. This defense will keep the Texans in almost any game. Bonnie says, never underestimate the hearts of our Houston Texans. Kia is seconding that. Harold says, fantastic Texans. But this defense, yeah. When you look at the fact that this defense, once every few weeks, puts a touchdown on the board, that's a weapon. And the special teams, that was a weapon today. Granted, there was a not-so-great penalty early on in the game by Boyd, interfering, but special teams was good too. And again, that goes back to what DeMeco mentioned, complementary. And too often this year, we have not seen the Texans play complementary football. When one part of this team is working, another part is not. Too often it's been the offense not working. Turnovers. Texans had 3 in this game. 2 fumbles lost and an INT. Usually teams will put a big circle on their board. We want 3 turnovers. And usually that's the recipe for winning. Texans, that's something that they'll definitely be talking about in their meetings. They got to take care of the football better, especially now that you're walking into a certain place against a certain quarterback who owns a certain number of rings, against a certain coach who is going to be going to the Hall of Fame. So thus far we have impressive, awesome, chaotic, determined, spectacular, fantastic, complimentary, dominating or dominated, outstanding, and I have a resilient on the other board. Any other words? This one, right off the bat, this is probably going to be the one word to describe this game. Once again, thanks for joining us. If you have a comment, we're reading them on our KHOU 11 Facebook page as we continue to break down this 32-12 win by the Texans over the Chargers at NRG. The Texans, 429 yards. 429. I would love to go back and see when was the last time they had more than 400 yards of offense. Oh, I can do it right here. And it's not going to create this awkward pause of me not saying anything and you guys waiting for the answer. It looks like the last time this team had more than 400 yards of offense was back in Week 5 against the Buffalo Bills. 425 in that 23-20 win. Prior to that, the week before, they had 435 yards of offense against the Jaguars, started the season 417 yards against the Colts. Thank you, ProFootballReference.com. I thought I'd have to be digging, but it was all right here on the Texans main page. Once again, we're waiting to hear from C.J. Stroud following this 32-12 win. C.J. putting up C.J.-like numbers we're used to seeing from him. 22 of 33, 282, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Nico Collins, 7 catches, 122 yards, and a touchdown. That's why they paid the man. That's why they paid the man. Also, offensively, Joe Mixon got his 1,000 yards for the season last week, over 100 in this game, 106, finishes with 106, 4.2 yards a carry. One of the interesting things that we had talked about on Sports Extra last week was, and there was some talk throughout the week on Sports Talk Radio here in Houston, was would we see a little bit more of Dameon Pierce? And the answer was 2 letters, no. Dameon Pierce got 2 carries, 15 yards. Dameon Pierce coming off that monster game against the Titans in the final week of the regular season. Nico, again, 7 catches, 122 yards. Longest was 41 yards. He was targeted 8 times and makes 7 grabs. Cade Stover, 4 targets, 4 catches. Although, I wonder if that's right, because there was the incomplete pass in the end zone. Anyways, John Mechie, targeted 8 times. Underneath guy, probably a second or third option. CJ went with him a number of times in this game. He had 4 catches. Dalton Schultz, 2 catches. Robert Woods, 2 catches. Dante Johnson, one of the newer Texans, had 1 catch for 12 yards. That's a guy that, and I think it was Justin who mentioned earlier about they need some help, or Nico needs some help, because so much is on his shoulders. When you look at pure pedigree, Deontay Johnson would be that guy who could stretch the field, because Hutchinson is not that type of receiver. Mechie's not that type of receiver. Robert Woods is not that type of receiver. And the fact that the defense dominated so much, I have not even mentioned the defensive statistics yet. My apologies to Matt Burke's group. Eric Murray led the team with 7 tackles, 4 solos, and of course had the pick 6. Azeez Al-Shire, 6 tackles, 3 solos. Derek Stingley, 4 tackles and the 2 INTs, 5 passes defensed. Will Anderson Jr., 1.5 sacks. Mario Edwards also credited with 1.5 sacks. DeMeco Autry had 1 sack. And that would equal 4. Daniil Hunter, 3 tackles, 2 solos. Quarterback hits. Will Anderson, 3. Hunter, 1. Edwards, 2. DeMeco Autry, 1. Al-Shire, 2. Those are just as important as stats. Quarterback hits. Chargers were no pushover. This team had scored 100 more points than it had allowed during the regular season. 402 points scored, 301 allowed. And they play in a pretty good division. You play the Chiefs. You play the Broncos. Raiders notwithstanding. Once again, my name is Jason Bristol here in the KHOU 11 newsroom, breaking down this 32-12 win over the Chargers. And again, we are awaiting C.J. Stroud in the interview room at NRG. And look at that. Here's C.J., everybody.
A couple things. First, could you just talk about what it means to be able to win another playoff game just in your second season?
Yeah, man, I'm just so blessed, man. Just so thankful for my God who I serve, Jesus Christ, just having the opportunity to play another, wild card game here in Houston and to get a win. Our crowd was rocking. Just an honor and a privilege to be able to be, in these shoes, and I don't take it for granted. And I'm just so grateful and just amazed of just how the Lord has uplifted this team, and, it hasn't always been easy this year. So, but this is just another, thing that, we can use to motivate us even more, to get to the division around whoever we play and play well there. So, yeah, it's amazing, though. I'm so happy and so blessed.
On that play where there was the fumble on the snap and then you were able to get it and complete the long pass, can you walk us through that, and how big do you think that was to change the momentum of the game?
Yeah, I was kind of, even after I made the play, I was kind of mad at myself for my eyes. Like, I didn't look at the snap, so it just went straight through my hands. And so I'm trying to see the defense, and it went through my hands, and luckily it bounced right back up to me. And, I tried to just savor the play. Hutch did a good job. I trusted me, and, I trust him. So he kept on the move. And, that after we made the completion, I looked at the sideline. Everybody was turned up, so that turned me up because I was still kind of mad at myself. But, yeah, those are the type of plays that change momentum, and that's when, a team can, rally around plays like that. So, shout out to Hutch for making a great instinctual play, and, I just try to do my best to savor the play.
You made several plays, even that run, Joe Mason been telling us that he been telling you that you athletic and you were, that run was one of several plays. But what do you feel like allowed you to kind of, play one of your better performances in this type of environment against good defense?
Yeah, I mean, really, I would say just all the adversity this year has really made me not only a better football player, but a better just human, a better man of God. And I don't take it lightly. I think people always see our mountaintops, but, one thing that people don't understand are valleys too, times of just going through it. And in my life, I'm very grateful for both, and I haven't always been that way, but, my character is being built as I continue to play this great game. And, I'm just really, really blessed to have the teammates I have. So, as, I'm playing more, everybody's coming to me and just telling me how much they trust me and, that they think I'm the best in the league. And, when you hear that, like, guys in the NFL just don't say that lightly. And, when the other side of the ball is, really good, like you say, and they're, giving you your props and stuff, that like is motivational to keep going. So even when it's not perfect, because life isn't perfect for anybody, we're all going through things. And for me, just to be able to still have my teammates and my head coach and Gerard, Bill Lazor, just always, and Davis always feeding motivation and positivity into me has really been helpful. And it's helped me a lot. Just not only in between the lines but off the field as well. So and Case Keenum has been a big part of that as well. So just how really. What I did today is really just a testament to people around me and, how the Lord is working on me.
Sorry. CJ, the offense started off slow and the defense was able to keep you all in the game. How much of that did you all feed off of that energy when they were able to, start shutting them down, getting interceptions, getting turnovers? How much did that fuel you all on the offensive side of the ball?
Man, they fueled us for real. Like, that's one thing that is not good when, the defense keeps getting stops and, we're doing whatever with the ball, not moving it well. So, and then the time of possession was like 10 minutes to 1, which was crazy, So it was good for us to have that 99-yard drive. Like, that was huge. That really probably gave us the momentum to win the game. But yeah, I think we played full complementary football today, like from offense to defense to special teams. Like, D-Lo takes it back. We get the block. I don't know who blocked it, but, that's just a testament to, like, the head coach we have of, the faith that he puts in us to keep going, the city we represent. Like, everything is really just coming together at the right time. And, I really feel like this is the start, and I'm really just, amazed of, the environment in there as well. But I really believe that, we're just getting started, and hopefully that, we continue to get this momentum rolling.
CJ, there was a moment in pregame where Stephon and Tank were out there. What did it mean to have them back inside the building? And did either of them give you a special message to the team before you guys took the field?
Yeah, it's always special to have your brothers in there. I'm growing really close with Steph, over this year. And he texted me before the game and just gave me a whole bunch of motivation, said he was praying for me. So, I appreciate that for real. And then Tank, I've been around Tank all the time, even now. But it was just good to see him back kind of smiling, around guys on the sideline, everybody saying what's up to him. I think that does good for him and his spirit. So, keep him in y'all prayers and, keep uplifting them, because it's a hard time right now for them, but for both of them. And, it's amazing. I hope they, were smiling a little bit as we were playing. And, I think that their careers are long from anything to being done. But this is just another bump in the road for them. And they're two of the best receivers I played with for real, like they remind me of, the guys I played with at Ohio State. So, I'm really just honored to have friends and brothers like that.
We'll go Sam and then Omar.
CJ, apologies if you've already talked about it, but Nico Collins had a playoff record today for Texans receiving yards wise. Just can you talk about the chemistry that you two have together, and just being able to have him and as a weapon for you kind of going forward?
Yeah, Nico is, like I told you, he was born out the womb great, and nobody knew it, but his pops and his mom, that dude right there, man, he's just really elevated himself as a NFL #1 receiver, and he shows it week in and week out. So, man, I'm just so happy for that guy, and I think this is just a start for him as well. Another 1,000-yard season, and he's still hungry for more. Still in here every day working on his body. I know that he's hungrier than ever. So I'm really just happy for him. And I'm super blessed to be a part of his journey, and great for him. He's another brother of mine. So yeah.
Hey, CJ. The first 5 possessions, 3 punts, 2 turnovers. What were you thinking? What were you telling your teammates before that first touchdown drive you guys had?
Yeah, it's not fun when, you have 2 early turnovers and punting the ball, getting 3 and outs, but it's all about, chopping wood, carrying water. And that's one thing that I love about our team is that we always, no matter if defense is up or offense is up, everybody's always watching and everybody's always into it. And I just think that's a recipe for success. So, while we were kind of down, I remember Will coming up to me and Aziz, and then just uplifting me, telling me, like, bro, you got it, so that helps, and for them to not just be like, dang, man, like, we kicking in stops, what the offense doing? Like, it wasn't that, it was just really like, man, we trusted y'all gonna get it going, but we're gonna hold up until y'all get rolling. So, I think that's amazing. And yeah, so it's not how you start, it's how you finish. It's cliche, but it's the truth.
CJ, early in the game, throughout the game, the Chargers defense was able to create pressure on you guys. But one adjustment you made was just taking what they were giving you and started using your legs. How did your mobility help continue to sustain drives for the offense, and then eventually look like not only you but the entire offense started to get their swag back a little bit throughout the game?
Yeah, that's something that I kind of seen on tape was they don't really, other than Bo Nix for real this year, they didn't really spy, and Mahomes as well, they did it, but they didn't really spy other quarterbacks. So I kind of seen it on film and thought, like, one of them, I think, actually the interception I threw to, I think that was in the second quarter, but I kind of looked on the thing and seen that, like, I had a running hole. So the next play, I didn't really just have it in my mind I was gonna do it, but once I seen him kind of back up, and I just took off and trusted my slow speed. But yeah, I thought and that kind of I felt my my joy coming back, and after I got up, just that's one of the best feelings in the world is after you make a play, you just turned up, and then your teammates turned up with you. That's one of the best feelings in the world, and I think that kind of gave our team juice. So yeah, I think just me losing my legs is definitely gonna be helpful this postseason. No, Will's doing a great job though, man. Go Bucks, baby. I'm so happy for that guy, man. So happy for Coach Day, man. I look at that team Jesus has his literal hand on that team, man. Just with Will, with Trey, and with Will, with DeMeco, G, Jack Sawyer making plays, man. Like, man, I remember that dude as a freshman, just coming in wet behind the ears, and now, he's big captain, and, man, I'm so happy for that team, and, I'm rooting him on. But, yeah, I don't think I got it from him, though.
CJ, you've been talking about most of the season, like, getting back to having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So is that what that was today for you, what it looks like when you are able to get back to having fun and how it impacts the way you're able to play?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It's really, but it's not easy to have fun while you're not executing. execution breeds, energy and breeds that excitement to the game. So once we started executing, that's when we started playing, with that swag. And I think it pops out like on film, or it pops off when we're rolling, but it's that in between we need to fix. So still a ton of things we can fix, but I definitely think the joy that we have after executing, we need to keep that rolling.
Kind of on the same topic, you talked in the preseason about pressure is a privilege, and the target was going to be bigger this year. I imagine you guys felt that over the last half of the season. How today did you guys put together maybe your best, most complete performance of the last couple of months? Where did that come from?
From practicing hard, I really believe practice makes perfect, and when you're not perfect, when you ain't small, you miss small. So we had a heck of a week of practice, worked really hard. Our scout team did a great job of giving us great looks, and I think our coaches had a great game plan, and I think the work that from the cafe to the red shirts to the janitors to our equipment, our strength staff, the work that the Texas organization puts in week to week, man, it goes. Doesn't go unnoticed. I'm so grateful to be here, so grateful for this opportunity to be around such great people. So I really think that plays into it, and when Aziz actually came up in front of the team and talked about when you order something online for the calf and you expect it by 7:45, it's their job to get it there by 7:45. Same thing, when we're not doing our job on the field, we're taking food off their plate in a sense. So, that's something that he challenged us with, and I think that we all answered the bell when it came to that.
CJ, can you talk about y'all completed your longest drive of the year in this game, 99 yards. How did you fall in your comfort zone? And then the next series, that 27-yard scamper, to go ahead. How, looking at you, and how did you feel just finally getting into a comfort zone that you really just started to let yourself go?
Yeah, those things take time. Execution, like I said, breeds that joy, breeds that, that fire. So that 99-yard drive, having that, the team was, we were ready to roll after that. And then, we get a 3-and-out, get the ball back around like the 30, I believe, and, get a good play. Match gets out of bounds, and that's when I take off next. And, just that momentum started to switch. And when you do that, execution starts to breathe.
CJ, you kind of touched on this, but those couple plays, the scoop up and fumble and pass, and then you had to run. How much did that kind of energize you and maybe restore some of your confidence? Because it seemed like after that, you just kind of, you went up a level.
Yeah, I was happy because I savored the play. I would have been really mad at myself if it went sour, but just when I looked at the sideline and seen all my teammates happy for that play, Joe was turned, DeMeco was going crazy, So, man, and when you get the leaders and the captains and everybody rooting you on, man, there's nothing like it. So, and our crowd was on 10 today. After that play, I heard them go crazy, and that gave me juice and inspired me to keep going. So, it definitely helped just everybody being positive. Okay, y'all have a good one.
Who's definitely having a good one. Not only have his Texans won, he also got to see his Ohio State Buckeyes win as well. CJ mentioning that it hasn't always been easy this season. All the adversity, he believes, has helped this team. Wasn't ideal that the first 5 possessions, 3 punts, 2 turnovers. But he also mentioned playing complementary football, and that's what this team did. Playing complementary football, and the Texans now have a date with the number 1 seed, the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't know when, we do know where, Arrowhead Stadium. Of course, Andy Reid's team, Patrick Mahomes' team, Travis Kelce's team, attempting to become the first team in league history to win 3 straight Super Bowls. So once again, I came on the air here and said it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And C.J. Stroud said the exact same thing. It's not how you start, it's how you finished. And we saw how the Texans finished. A 32-12 win over the Chargers, and now The season continues on. Once again, we thank you for all your comments, your questions, and your feedback here. So I think the one word we will go with was one of the first words we got, impressive. Impressive is the best word to describe this 32-12 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. Once again, my name is Jason Bristol. As always, thank you, all of you, for joining us. That's going to do it for us here at the KHOU 11 Newsroom. Much more coverage on the Texans' big win tonight on KHOU 11 News at 10. Until then, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you following this Texans 32-12 win over the Chargers.